We are back at it.
Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Episode 2. Let's go.
Welcome to the Relationship Goals podcast, everyone. I'm Melly.
And I'm BJ.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all your support and tuning in to us last week.
We saw you guys listening, sharing stories, and giving us feedback on our first episode.
Yeah, really cool just to see everything in person. See all the love and support.
Happy July, everybody.
4th of July was yesterday, so hopefully you enjoyed all the fireworks in your neighborhood.
We sure don't, because our dog
watch good with fireworks. Luckily for us, he doesn't get too crazy, in comparison to other people's dogs.
It's because he grew up watching Star Wars. When we were at the Golden Knights rally, I thought the drones were fireworks.
I didn't even see them till you showed me a picture, and I was like, I wish I looked that up. I don't even know where I was looking at that time.
Yeah, they were really cool, but we were so close that it was hard to see in our angle.
Yeah.
But I really did think they were fireworks, and I was like, yeah, that was...
I think maybe if I think about it, I kind of saw them in my peripheral, but I don't know. I was so just still in awe of Wild Bill's speech, so...
But I really like the idea of having like drones instead of fireworks for pets. Like, if people who don't like the sound of fireworks, so they could bring their pets.
I don't know. I feel like fireworks are always going to be a thing, especially here in America. We like to blow stuff. we love our fireworks. We love our Roman candles and all those kind of illegal explosive thingies that just blow up and make really loud noises and bright sparkles in the sky.
Yeah, we could still have that, but in a different area of the city, we can have like a quiet show for drones and pets and babies. That would be fun.
I guess, yeah. That'd be cool.
Anyways, it's a new month and new goals.
Yeah, babe, let's go over with our listeners what we do after every month.
Like our weekly resets and monthly reflections.
Yeah. Can you explain that to them a little bit?
Yeah, so every week we try to do this thing called weekly reset meetings.
Where did you get that again from?
I got this idea from my old boss and TikTok, a little mixture of both, because she does these kind of meetings with her husband, and they review like their finances and talk about their schedule for the upcoming month. And then as for TikTok, I got like the ideas of planning out like your workouts, your meals, and also discussing like relationship questions, like what communication issues you had, and showing each other appreciation. Because sometimes we forget to do that in the week because it's so busy.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if I'm working a lot and you have a lot of projects going on. So I like when we have that time on Sunday to kind of go over everything.
Yeah, and at the end of every month, what we do is like look at the month as a whole, see what we spent financially, see what our goals we accomplished were, set new goals, and take a look at what the upcoming month has in store for us.
And we definitely spent a lot of money in June.
That's because of the Golden Knights. We kept buying things.
Yeah,
You only win
the Stanley Cup for the first time
once.
So.
Like we might not win only once.
Yeah.
But the first time once. Yeah. So we kept buying everything.
Definitely very well spent. Money well spent.
We highly recommend doing these weekly reset meetings and monthly reflections. It's just a good way to do communication with each other.
And like we'll give them an example of kind of how we do it, maybe in a future episode.
Yeah, like we can do a weekly reset meeting during an episode.
Yes. Awesome. Cool.
Great.
Sweet.
So let's get to the juicy topic.
Well, everyone always asks me, when are you going to put a ring on it? When are you going to pop the question?
When are you going to get married?
When are you guys going to get married?
When is the wedding?
When is the wedding?
Are you repeating me?
Because that's what they always ask. So it's the same thing.
Yeah, we hear it over and over and over. And I'm sure you guys are wondering too. Like, why are you guys... Because it's like a relationship kind of goal. I mean, it's a goal in a relationship to get married. It's like some people don't want to have kids. That's fine. And some people don't want to get married. And that's fine too. Mm-hmm. And that is us. But we were going to get married. And we do have a little story time for that.
Yeah, so let's dive into that. Let's kind of tell them a little bit of what happened back then and why it led to this point.
Yeah, so I took a communication class I'm a communication minor, and it
But
was
really quick, shout out to Melly's communication and marketing classes, her senior classes. Those are awesome that I got to be part of. That's why I tell people I jokingly have a minor in integrated marketing communications too, because I got to learn a lot from these classes. So shout out to Greenspun.
sure. So communication classes, I really like those. Those are like my favorite class that I still remember to this day. It was my sex, love, and romance class. And I took a couple of her classes just because I liked her teaching style.
Mm.
And this class was like my favorite class I took from her because we watched a lot of like romance movies and we analyzed it, how society kind of like romance, how like gender norms are and like, basic things. For her example, she didn't take her husband's last name. She doesn't wear a ring. And she's the one that kind of like inspired me to also want to do that because she was like, the diamond industry is the one that said that you need to wear a ring. Like, and why do I need to take someone else's last name? They just tell you to do that. Like, it's just all of these things are just what society says to do. And the gender norm thing, pink, it was supposed to be for boys and blue was supposed to be for girls because blue was like a delicate color and pink, I forgot why pink was for boys, but she said things like that. Like, these are just things that people made up and everyone followed. Like, the guy needs to be taller, the girl needs to be needy and
or be like the person at home, cooking the food, cleaning. And the guy is the provider. But I feel like learning things from that class, or just in general, I feel like a lot of time has changed, and women can do everything that men can do, and vice versa. I know people where the woman is the one making more money, and the guy is the one who stays home, takes care of the kids, and they're perfectly fine with it. So
yes, I really like that class because it helped me like see a different side of romance and like how certain movies really like try to make you have this idea of romance. And it really showed me how like you don't really have to go with like the traditional things that you do, and just do the things that we want to do the way we want to do it.
Yeah, because it's our relationship. It's not anyone else's relationship but ours. It goes the same with other people and what they want to do. To each their own.
And we have nothing against marriage at all.
Yeah, there's nothing, negative towards people who, feel like that's for them. We have a lot of friends and family who are married, who've had beautiful weddings. Some we've been able to attend, and those are very important memories in our lives. Sharing that with them.
Yeah, we love weddings.
Yeah,
we attended a couple just recently, and
they were awesome.
They were all very different too. Like, they really matched the couple that was getting married.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about each couple. They have like their own way of showing their love.
Yeah, and then definitely the wedding and the parties just vibe really well with like their, the vibe they exude. So really awesome.
So we did want to get married and we did have a date. We weren't engaged, but the date was February 29, 2020. I really like that day because it was like a leap day. We don't really celebrate our anniversary anyways, so it would have been like every 4 years. Yeah, and I don't even like rings. I know I would lose it. So I wasn't even asking like for an expensive ring. I didn't even want a diamond. I think I was like looking at stones.
Oh my god.
But
it was expensive.
Like, we were thinking about getting a tattoo because we like say king and queen a lot. So we were gonna do like, like a card symbol, like the king of hearts and the queen of hearts on our ring finger. And I wasn't gonna take his last name. Anyways, like, we were very non-traditional. Like, I wasn't even gonna get married in the church, and I know that would have like, ooh.
Yeah, because both our families are Catholic and they're very traditional.
That would have caused a lot of controversy. I mean, we had everything like pretty much talked about and planned, even though we weren't engaged. And we even attended a few conventions, which I love a good wedding convention. I would still attend them. Those are so much fun. There's like cake testing, all these like vendors that you meet.
All right, babe, let's tell them kind of like your story because she actually went to a lot of these things by herself. So let's tell them about that.
No, I was with my sister.
Well, I didn't go. Okay, yeah, she was with her sister. Shout out to Michelle. But you drove there by yourself, which was crazy because before this, I would always have to drive to California and then back. But ever since she went down there for these conventions to check out venues, we've been able to kind of split the driving. Thank God.
Yeah, so we wanted to get married in San Diego because San Diego is just, a special place to us. San Diego Comic Con, it's our favorite place to go to for vacations. Like, I would live there if I could and it wasn't expensive. Yeah, San Diego is just a special place and I love it there. But to get a venue in San Diego, you got to look at it in person. DJ couldn't go, so that's just left it up to me to look at it and tour with like my sister that lived there. So I had to drive by myself, and I never drove in California. Like, I just don't think I'm that confident of a driver when I drive in California. I'm still not, but I could drive like to Barstow from Vegas. Drive because it's easy, it's straight, and then
She's scared of semi trucks. I mean, a lot of people are, but she's definitely scared of semi trucks and being near semi trucks.
Just the freeways in California are just too much. Everyone's like crazy, but anyway.
Melly is a driver where she likes to be on the farthest lane and she won't turn. If you're a passenger with her, she won't be on the lane. Like, she likes to wait the last minute till she changes to the lane she needs to. And if you've driven in California, you definitely can't do that.
I like to live on the No, I'm just kidding. I always say that, but I just don't like being in the lane where everyone's like has to turn right and then I have to stop. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, so I had to hype myself up when I was at the, like Barstow checkpoint because I was just like, oh God, I'm gonna drive to California. I can do this. Like, I had one of those scans on your dashboard so it could show me the directions, and it didn't have that. Definitely would not have survived. But I did, and I drove to California. I survived, and then I had to do some venue tours by myself. I think I did like 2 by myself, and then, oh yeah, by the way, the hotels that we wanted were like, it had to be dog friendly, it had to be a hotel that everyone could stay at, and then it had to be like ceremony and reception because it was
travel easier. Right?
Yeah, it makes the travel easier. Flash can be there, people or to be drunk, they don't have to drive, and then no transportation like going anywhere. Like, I wanted everything to be right there. Yeah, and obviously like a beautiful location too. So I looked at a handful of places and narrowed it down to do tours based on like pricing and stuff. And then the next day, me and my sister and my niece went a little bit further out, and I thought this was going to be the location for us, but the vibes were definitely very off. They were like 10, 15 minutes late in meeting us, and they just didn't really seem like they cared that much. The location was beautiful, but they didn't really have like a good backup just in case it rained. Like, if it rained, we would be moving inside to this ugly venue.
Really quick, because I know a lot of people seek your advice for things like this. If to our listeners who are trying to plan a wedding or something like that, what would you like, just quick advice, what would you tell them like about, like, exactly what you said, like the vibe of talking to you, like the planner, right? Like a wedding planner, like what just give them some advice just from that experience.
Okay, so this place I did choose was the last place I toured, and she had the best vibe. Like, she met with us, she gave me a gift. She was the only one that gave me a gift, not that I needed one, but it was a DoubleTree hotel, so they had those cookies.
Oh, the cookies, yeah. Those
so she gave me a little gift bag with a little baby champagne, a Brad's card, and she gave me cookies, and I thought that was such like a nice touch. Also, she was someone who was very responsive in email. That's really important, especially when you're planning something, to have someone that has good communication with you and like very friendly over the phone. And she was definitely that for me too. And when she was giving a tour, she was answering all my questions. By the way, I also like filmed all of this stuff. Like, I was like vlogging me going to these conventions, going on these tours. So I have the footage of this stuff. And I mean, it's all, tucked away because I never posted it, obviously. But I could release it if I could dig it up. But yeah, she just had like really good vibes. And that's really important when planning because you don't want to deal with someone who
doesn't answer you,
doesn't answer your questions, especially for a big event like this where you're spending a lot of money. Yeah, I did go with that venue. I really liked it, and they just did renovation. So like a month after I signed all the papers and stuff, she called me with her manager on the line, And I was like, okay, that's weird. And they announced that they're doing a renovation during our time frame of our wedding. So she said they would no longer be able to host us, and obviously we would get a refund for everything and all that because we did the deposit and stuff. And I was literally like in the middle of booking our photographer and videographer at that point. That was like the second vendor I was like choosing, and that was important, that costs a lot. And I didn't sign the contract with them yet, thank God. And yeah, they canceled on us, and we had a trip planned out early April for us to go to a Golden Knights game in LA, and then we also were supposed to go to the venue so I could show BJ in person, and then that ended up being like a whole nother set of venue tours for us looking for a new venue.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent like that remaining month like trying to find another venue, trying to narrow down again, and it already took me months to find that venue. So I just had to redo my search all over and look back at my options, and none of these options were just good enough because nothing like spoke to me. And like even when BJ was there, he didn't really like anything. He wasn't impressed.
This is hard. Like, just from remembering that, my guy friends who are married or ones that hopefully want to get married, it's a lot that goes into it. I'm one where I really don't care too much about these things in general already. I've always been like that. Like, I never cared too much about a party or things like this. So like, if you know me, like, it's not really things that I care about. But it's hard because I know Melly like really cared about things like this. So you're trying to think of what's going to be the best for both of us. But it was hard just because she wanted specific things, and I didn't really know what I wanted in general. Just kind of
He was stressed, and I was like, why are you stressed? I'm the one
yeah,
that was like planning everything. But he felt a lot of stress, and that's when we like talked about it and thought, this is not good timing. It's obviously a sign that maybe we shouldn't do this. And so that kind of led to us deciding, we want different things. And if we were to continue doing that wedding too, I mean, that was 2020, February 29, 2020. And you guys know what happened in 2020 in the middle of March. So I mean, it all worked out in the end. I also like checked in on that hotel to see like what kind of renovations did you guys do? And they closed.
They ended up closing. That was crazy.
They closed October 2019, so they were lying. And because I was like, you guys just did renovations. What other renovations do you have to do? So they closed completely 2019, and they just called it renovations.
Yeah, that was wild when you said that. Yeah, we still love each other very much.
Obviously.
Wedding or no wedding.
I mean, title, no title, ring, no ring.
Yeah. Really quick, there's nothing wrong with doing it the traditional way. Both our families are traditional, married in church. My mom and dad, her mom and dad. So there's nothing wrong with that. We're just saying that if you feel like you want to do something different, or that doesn't really feel like the way you want to do it, just communicate with your significant other or just in general, and find what makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters the most, is your happiness, not your family's happiness or what you think your family wants of you, which fortunately enough, both our families are very kind of like easy on us, to be honest. Yeah, they're really cool. They're very loving. They're very supportive, or just in general, like things like that. Even over our relationship, they always just wanted us to be happy, and that's what I love about both our families.
Yeah, and we haven't really announced this because it's not something, I mean, I don't know how to announce this, but we are legally together.
Yeah, we're in a domestic partnership.
Yeah, so we became domestic partners last year before we went to Jamaica.
Yeah, so
that was our honeymoon.
our domestic moon.
Yeah, so I thought it was a good idea for us to be domestic partners since
we're trying to have kids, so just in case.
Yeah, and I knew I was going to be leaving my job, so I wanted to, to be able to have health insurance still and join his plan, and like, just give him like more powers, each other powers in each other's lives. It was like kind of difficult to navigate because I don't really know anyone who's in a domestic partnership. So yeah, we have their certificate. It's like chilling in our office, hanging.
Has anyone even noticed it? That's been in your room? Oh.
No, because no one reads my accomplishments over here. It's like, oh. No. But yeah, so we've been in a domestic partnership since November. And I mean, how has it been? the same.
Yeah.
Nothing's really changed except BJ's check.
I gotta pay more for. I gotta pay for her side. It's okay.
And yeah, so that's where we're at. Again, thank you guys for listening. It's been fun. This is a good story time about,
Definitely something very impactful in our lives, and just something that you guys can listen to and understand where we're at. So if you wonder why I haven't, popped the question, if the marriage and everything felt right to you, awesome.
Yeah, invite us to the wedding. We'll be there. We'll be partying.
We've loved, like I said, we loved every wedding we've been to, and it was such a beautiful moment for our friends, their family, and they're our family. So yeah, it's beautiful. Just kind of, it's just a thing that we did, we felt like was best for us. And if you're kind of in this situation and our story kind of opens us light in you or whatever, hopefully it helps you kind of,
Yeah, join us in domestic partnership.
Hopefully it helps kind of like ease your mind a little, right? Because you don't have to do things in reality that you don't want to do, because it's a big financial investment. Okay, so just from people I've heard at work that aren't together anymore, I'm not gonna name names, but it's a lot of money. So
what's important is that who you're with.
Yeah, and then that you guys and you love them, and that you're in a relationship that is growth together. And if you guys start a family or have a family, that it's a great environment for your kids to grow up in.
And our hotline is open. If you guys have any questions, please send us a video or a voice memo to our email at relationshipgoalspodcast@gmail.com. And you guys can find more on our social media platforms at Relationship Goals Podcast.
We really appreciate the support and look forward to the next episode. Yeah,
because we're still going.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a great week.
Have a great start to your July. And
yeah, bye.
Bye.